So let's talk about enjoying a holiday, not hindering progress, not losing all your gains. So I'd first like to highlight that a holiday is a holiday for a reason. It's to relax, take yourself away from normal routine, and enjoy more of what you love doing that you maybe can't do as much when you're back home. Whether it be laying around the fucking pool, eating more pizza, drinking more beer, and basically just having fucking more fun than you do at home. Now, the problem that I see with a holiday is that people work themselves up to a point where they maybe don't enjoy it as much, or they end up coming back and going into what's known as fuck it mode. So in this little clip, well, maybe not little, probably long clip, I'm going to explain to you ways in which you can enjoy the holiday without feeling like you're a failure, what's the point, and yeah, going into fuck it mode. So I'd like to bring up the point of leading up to the holiday. People make the mistake of reducing their caloric intake to a point where they, one, feel like shit, two, they're really lean, which means they can't eat as much food when they go on holiday, and three, they have this notion in their head that it's going to make them happy, it's going to make their holiday better, and it's going to increase their social status. That's a fucking load of bollocks. And you want to know why and how I know? Because I've fucking done it. My first tip to you is to not restrict your caloric intake to a point where you are hating yourself before the holiday. You're having to eat chicken and broccoli 2 weeks before your holiday. All that is going to do is set you up for huge inevitable failure. That also restricted caloric intake is then going to not allow you to eat as much on holiday without getting as fluffy, bloated, and again, making you feel like shit. So you have to have this realization, guys, that going on holiday isn't about getting to a super low percentage of body fat. It's about feeling better in your own skin, having the confidence to take your top off and walk around half naked, or naked, if that's your jam. You also have to realize that on holiday, you are probably going to eat more carbohydrates. And you might not know this, but for every 1 gram of carbohydrate you consume, 3 to 4 grams of water accompany that 1 gram of carbohydrate. So when you inevitably come back home and jump on the scales, you're probably going to fucking be a bit heavier. You're probably going to gain almost 5 kilograms. But it isn't fat mass, okay? Most of it will be water and some salt. Again, the more salt you consume, the more water you retain. They're my mindset shifts before and after. Now let's talk about the juicy stuff. From my standpoint, I like to go on holiday and I like to indulge in the local cuisine. Now, to make sure that I don't go into fucking knobhead mode and eat breakfast, lunch and dinner at 2,000 calories a meal, I like to implement a little bit of fasting, which is basically where you push your first meal back to later in the day, and I'll normally have caffeine and hydration and use that sort of morning period to suppress my hunger, maybe stimulate my brain and go for a walk. I'll then have a nice lunch which will consume of lean protein, veg and maybe something else that's a little bit treaty. And then when it comes to dinner, who gives a fuck? Like I said, the reality is the holiday is there to enjoy. And if you are restricting yourself, you are conflicting and doing exactly the opposite of what you intend to do when you go on holiday. All you can do is hold yourself accountable for your actions and do what's best as much as possible to make sure that you just don't overdo it, overshoot the runway. From a training standpoint, in my opinion, if you want to train, train. If you have the time to train, train. A week off training, you will lose no muscle. You may not even lose any strength. In fact, the rest and recovery might be exactly what your body needs. If I have time to train, I like to train. But if I'm on the beers with the boys, do you think I'm going to the gym? Fuck that. So at the end of the day, it comes down to personal preference when you go on holiday, guys. But there are some strategies that you need to put in place to make sure that you have a resilient mindset. You still want to be consistently ruthless at some of the stuff. Maybe steps, probably not sleep. Maybe depending on what holiday you're going on, I guess. Beers with the boys, probably not. Make sure you get some sort of fruit and veg in your diet, okay? To make sure you're not holding in 7 days worth of shit and then you come home and then the toilet might look a little bit, well, probably won't appreciate it. And yeah, try and stay hydrated. And as I just said, if you come back and you are heavier, you feel a bit fluffier, a bit more bloated, it has nothing to do with the amount of fat that you have gained. Another statistic is for every 3,500 calories you eat over your maintenance, you gain 0.5 grams of actual fat. So let me put that into perspective. If I sit at 2,400 calories maintenance, don't lose weight, don't gain weight, I'd have to eat 5,000... Fuck. What is that? I'd have to eat 5,900 calories a day to gain 0.5 kilograms, so half a kilo of actual fat. That, for anyone, is quite hard. There you have it. Krabby's tips, holiday 101, to enjoy your holiday, not diet like a knobhead, and stay on track.